Mechabellum. So the engine game of Go is renowned for the abstract strategy and fluid-like nature. You and the opponent are essentially floating down the river of a white and black stones where things like build order, APM and game state doesn't matter. You make a move in a tremendous amount of possible space, your opponent reacts with their own tremendous amount of possible moves, then you go again, and so on until an outcome emerges. Well, my friends, let me tell you about Mechabellum, the auto-battling light-scale mecha versions of the game that in thousands of years old Go. You and your opponent make the moves at the same time, and then witness the battle play out. Standard auto-battling stuff so far, but what makes the unique in your pieces are locked in positions on the board every turn thereafter. Yes, I know there's eventually ways around that, but I'm keeping this review at 30,000 feet. So if you got whipped in the previous turn because your right flank died early, in the next turn you could add some tankier units to that side. Or if your opponent lacks good air defense, start throwing up some additional air units. That's just two examples of the countless ways you can act and react during a normal game. There's also unit upgrades, unit specialized skills, customizable skill loadouts, and even additional bonuses from building that are on your side of the map. As a long-time gamer, I've been waiting to try an auto battle for some time. I saw an article out there somewhere singing the praises of Mechabellum and decided this one was worth a closer look. Even though it was eventually be free to play and early access requires payment of actual cash money. I cannot tell you how many times I have gambled on some indie darling with the tons of bars only to be horribly disappointed. Mechabellum is one of those rare games that gives me a reason to keep trying new things. I have always been a fan of the RTS and turn-based tactical genres, and it took me a little while to get used to not being able to actually control my units once the battle started. In this game, positioning, unit composition, and upgrading units with tech and higher levels are all important. After you make your choices, the chips fall where they may. And that is a highly addictive game loop that has kept me up well past bedtime every night since I downloaded. As the old saying goes, easy to learn but difficult to master. I understand that Mechabellum is probably more of a mobile game than a PC console game, but it is still engaging enough to hold my interest playing on PC. Surprisingly, for an early access game, the AI is quite good and you can learn a lot by skirmishing against bots. You have to ramp things up to the insane difficulty setting, but then you will be faced with opponents with a variety of different strategies and units rather than depending on a single trait and true strategy on unit composition. Sometimes you will be facing armies of high-powered giants, and other times nasty swarms of highly upgraded crowbars will overwhelm everything you have got. Sometimes they come with air power, sometimes not. Sometimes you get bombarded by artillery, screened from artillery counter-attack by Mustangs, and sometimes not. Rounds are over quickly and then you get respawn to what you saw during combat for the next round. I like how you get more and more resources each successive round. It becomes super easy to convenience yourself that bad times are for losers. Winners try just one more match. A couple of quick suggestions for devs. It would be nice if units would return fire when fired upon. Too many times I watched powerful units at the end of the game get destroyed because they are firing on something that cannot fire at them, such as air on defenses, ground, while some other dinky units slowly wear the attackers down simply because they never return fire. All units within a certain area should sense the need to fire on active attackers versus units that cannot attack. Another nice addition would be the ability to select between a focus on air versus ground targets. All units of a type could even have a one designation for all, or players could decide for each individual unit. The large flying fortress units, overloads, will often sit on their shooting and ground targets with a couple enemy Phoenix aircraft, blast them into pieces without even receiving a defensive shot in return. It's a similar problem to the one I mentioned